Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Cybersecurity Ranger. Before I begin my video, I'd like to request you to please subscribe to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to exploit Linux machines. Now I'm using metasploitable version 2 to exploit. You can find it on the internet. There's a series of metasploitables available, metasploitable 1, 2, 3. And there are several vulnerable applications which are running on these machines. So let's get started. So as usual, the first thing you need to do is to find out the target IP address. So I'm using netdiscover. I think that was pretty quick. So I'm just going to show you the command netdiscover-r and then the network address. So we can see this is the target machine 36.144. Now, the next thing that we need to do is to find out what services are running on this target. So I'm going to use nmap-sv for the service version scan. Now, I have already made a video on nmap scans, how you can scan the target system using various options. So please check those videos if you're looking to scan the systems in the presence of firewalls, how firewall evasion can be done. The complete tutorial is available in my playlist. Now we can see that there are plenty of services which are running on this particular target machine. You have FTP, you have SSH, Telnet, SMTP, HTTP. Remember that on the target systems, it's not necessary that all the services are vulnerable. So you can use NESUS, which I again already covered in one of my videos, to find out exactly whether this service is vulnerable or not. You can use OpenVAS also to find out if a particular service is vulnerable or not, right? So let's first try to see if we can, since the FTP is running on this target system, so I'm going to just try to do FTP. Sorry. 144, so you can see it requires a username and password. Now, since we don't know the username and password, I'm going to use Hydra to try to find out the username and password. Now, I have a tutorial on Hydra as well if you're looking to find out the usage of Hydra, how it can be used to find the username and passwords. Now, remember, if you already know the username and password, you don't need to provide this. You just have to provide the username. However, if you don't know the username, you need to prepare a list of probable users. So I already have created a text file in which I have certain, couple of users in this list. And then you need to have the dictionary file with the -p option. And then you have the target IP address and then the service that I'm trying to find the password for with the -v version to see it happening in the verbose mode. So let's see if Hydra can find out the usernames and passwords for the FTP service. Now it's going to take a while because it's trying to take each user in the list and then try passwords against this user. Then it moves on to the second user and then tries to find out the password. So you can see one of the user and the password is discovered, which is Ranger. Another username and password is also discovered, MSF-admin. And now it's trying the third user, which is user. It find out the user and the password. So from here, we can see that the Hydra was able to find username and passwords for the target FTP application. What we can do is that we can try to use one of them, MSF-admin, at 192.168.36.144 and MSF-admin. And now you can see basically the login was successful. So we were able to log into the FTP service, right? So this is one. Similarly, you can try to brute force the password for SSH service, which is running here. You have the telnet. You can try telnet with the Hydra as well. So the method is same. You just need to change the service in the end, right? Okay. Let's try to now find out if we can actually exploit some of these services. So I'm going to use MSF console. Let's close this terminal. All right. I need to run this scan again for the service version scan, right? I also have a video on metasploit, how you can use metasploit. So please check that video as well. So the service that I'm trying to target is the VSFTPD. So remember, with Hydra, I was just able to log into the FTP service. But now what we want to do is that we want to try to exploit this particular service, which is VSFTPD. And like I said, if you use Nessus or OpenVAS, you can find out if this service is vulnerable and if there is an exploit which is available in Metasploit. So let's just try to search for Pro FTPD service. Sorry, it's not Pro FTPD, VSFTPD. VSFTPD. So you can see that we have an exploit available for VSFTPD 2.3.4. Remember, not every VSFTPD service is vulnerable. The vulnerabilities are usually for a particular version. So the version which is running here is 2.3.4, and this is the backdoor which is available. So I'm going to use this exploit, and we can go to, and you can see here that by default, it has selected the payload, so we don't need to give the payload. So by using show options, you can see what options we need to configure. So right now we just need to give the R host here. So set R hosts to the target IP 192.168.36.144. And that's it. The payload is set already. We just simply need to exploit it. So you can see here that we were able to find the shell in our case. And this is, remember, it's a command shell. So it's not like Metapredator that we used in the Windows exploit. So now the Windows commands are working. So I used ls to see the directories which are there. If I want to go to the /etc and /passwd, I can get the users here. You can see the list of the users. If I want to go to the shadow file to get the hashes of these users, I can get the hashes of these users, and I have already demonstrated in password cracking videos that how you can crack the Linux passwords, right? So we have exploited one of the service. There are plenty of other services which are there. There is an HTTP service running as well. So we need to know which of these services can be exploited. I have only exploited one service out of them and got the shell, right? So you can try the other services as well. The method is same. You just need to find out the service which is vulnerable and then try to find the relevant exploit. One other module that I want to show you is, if we can go back, and I'm going to use an auxiliary module. This is not an exploit, it's an auxiliary scanner. that is available in Metasploit framework. So use auxiliary scanner telnet and telnet_version. I can go to show options, and you can see here the options. The options that we need to set is the rhost password, no. Username not required. So I'm going to set the rhost. .144, and simply run this or exploit this. Now what this does, this auxiliary scanner, it doesn't exploit the target system, but it tries to grab the banner of the telnet service which is running. And if you're lucky, like in our case, you can see here that the banner actually contains the username and password information. So you can see here, log in with MSF_admin, which is basically the username and password, right? Now on the actual systems, and it's usually, there is more security than this. These machines are for practice purposes, to learn how to exploit various services. And similarly, if I try to SSH, for instance, the machine 192, sorry, I need to go out from here, clear the screen. So I'm trying to SSH by using unable to negotiate. All right, it's not able to negotiate the SSH. Let's try telnet. So you can see here the username and password that we found here. We also found it in Hydra. I'm just going to use that to log into the machine, and now you can see that I have a telnet connection, right? So there are multiple ways this machine can be exploited. It's difficult to cover all of them, but if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. As a disclaimer, I would also like to mention here that all the videos that I make, they're basically for learning purposes. I'm not responsible for anyone's actions, and you should not be using it on the real network. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.